So let's continue chapter 7. What I'm trying to show you here is I'm working with the same part I had before, and last time what we did was we used different radius edges around this part, and we also smoothed this inner surface. So in this lecture, what I want to do is I want to smooth this other side to be a rounded edge, and I also want to create an edge here that is varying in radius as we go along one edge, not along several other ones. So for that, let me go ahead and delete these edges that I applied before, Edge Blend 3, option in my part history. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a new feature that is called the Face Blend, this is still Edge Blend, and the next will be Face Blend. So I'm going to go to Insert, Design Feature, Edge Blend. So for the Edge Blend, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a radius of 0.5, and I'm going to select, let's say we want this edge. On this edge, I want to go ahead and specify a location on this edge that I want it to be 0.5. I'm going to start with this endpoint. Okay? And then I hit OK. So it says 0.5, it's going to start here. Let's say the next point we want to look at, we're going to want 0.25. We can click our point dialog, and I can select the midpoint of this line. So you'll see it appear here as a brown center midpoint. I'll go ahead and click that and click OK. And I'll have the last value at a value of 1, and I'll select the endpoint of this line just to see how it looks. Okay? And I'll select OK. So what you see here is what we've done is we have created an edge that has varying radius across this edge point. So that may come in handy rather than having to have the same radius along the whole edge. Next thing I'm wanting to do is I want to do another face. I want to introduce another tool that we can use called Face Blend. And Face Blend, what it's going to do is it's going to allow us to blend certain faces together in a more smooth manner. So let's go ahead and go to Insert, Detail Feature, and we're going to go ahead and select the Face Blend option. So when I select this, I'm going to want to make sure it says 2 defining face chains. And the 2 face chains I'm going to select, and we can select multiples within each face chain, but in this particular case we're only selecting 1 for each face chain. I'm going to select this face. I'm going to want to make sure that this arrow is pointing inward. And I'm going to go ahead and go to my second face chain. I'm going to want to make sure this arrow is also pointing inward. And what you see now is a little shadow of an arc that has appeared now. What we can do is we can make sure that it's set to circular, constant, and I want the radius of this geometry to be 0.4 inches. And I'm going to click OK. So what you see now is we've smoothed that other edge now so that it looks like the other side. And we use Face Blend to go ahead and smooth out the edges of this particular part. I'm going to go ahead and move on now. Let me close this shape. And I'm going to create a new shape. The dimensions will also be in inches. And this is a shape shown in, so let's create a new sketch just on the same plane. And this is a sketch in the project 7.2.4. So let's go ahead and start our shape at the origin. And our shape looks something like this, some kind of L shape. And we'll go ahead and set some of these constraints here so that we know exactly what these lengths are. So this length is there, this length is here. Let's see, I think that I need this length as well. So let's make sure we select This length, okay? And now let's go ahead and put some of the values that are in the text. This is a value of 1. This has a value of 1.5. And this has a thickness of 0.1. Okay? So a few other constraints that we can put on here in order to have our sketch fully constrained is that this length and this length should be equal. So let's go ahead and constrain these 2 points with this length, and this should have equal lengths. Okay, now the sketch is fully constrained. Now that the sketch is fully constrained, I'm going to click Finish Sketch, and I'm going to extrude this. So I'm going to select the curve that we just drew, and I'm wanting to extrude it 5 inches in this case. Let's go ahead and extrude it 5 inches. So we have kind of an angled geometry here. I'm going to use Face Blend again to create something like a ramp here. So let's go ahead and go to Insert, Detail Feature, Face Blend. And it asks me to select the face chains again. So face chain 1, I'm going to go ahead and select this face chain. Okay, I'm going to make sure it's pointing inwards. For face chain 2, I'm going to select the bottom portion. I'm making sure it's pointing inwards as well. In this case, I'm going to want to have a dimension of radius of 2. Okay. And it gives me an error that says blend radius too long. So we need to make a few changes here. One of them is selecting the coincident curve. So we can select coincident curve to be this edge here. So this is going to let us know, or let the shape know, that it can extend to the edge of this shape. We can select the tangent curve as this point here, let's say that point there, and we can select OK. And so what you see here now is that we've created a ramp looking shape using the face blend. So we've used our tools that we have in place for them to merge together these 2 shapes and create another shape. So the next lesson I'm going to cover drafting and some of the features that drafting allows us to do. And then I'm going to let you guys do an in-class exercise where we revisit the full rack that we looked at before.